Hi, and welcome back. I'm Dr. Diane Craig, and this is Too Soon to Stop, or the How to Reinvent Yourself channel. I am 64 years old and have been a doctor for over 37 years. 30 of those years have been spent in the emergency department. I'm here to share the many lessons I have learned over the past decades to help you achieve your dreams so that you can help others to make the world a better place for all of us. Have you or someone you know ever been in a dead-end relationship? You keep throwing yourself at your love interest, hoping maybe this time things will work out to your liking. You know your love interest wants to move on, and the handwriting has been on the wall for a while and is evident for all to see. Nonetheless, you are willing to compromise all self-esteem, all self-respect, and integrity just to keep things going. Your fear of rejection and having to live without the relationship terrifies you. You are willing to allow almost anything to happen to you, no matter how foolish you look or how badly you are taken advantage of. You always promise yourself you would not let this happen, but here you are with your self-respect in the toilet, anxiously waiting to see what your love interest, who has all the control, is going to do next. Isn't this what we do to ourselves when we don't allow ourselves to go after our dreams? It is never too late to go for it as long as you have your mind and your body still works. We fear failure and rejection going after what we really want. We are afraid that people will make fun of us and tell us things like, "I knew you weren't going to make it." Here's a quote from my readings. This one is from the author M.J. DeMarco. He is a self-made millionaire who started off as a limo driver. He, of course, had multiple opportunities to eavesdrop in on multimillionaires who would hire him to drive them around. He took the many lessons learned from this and applied it to his own dreams in order to become successful. His book, Unscripted, is a great read and tells how he took the steps to get where he is today. In one example, in his book, there are two men having a conversation while riding in his limo. One of them, named Clooney, is complaining fervently and wanting to give up because things were getting too difficult. The other man's name is Gary, who was listening to Clooney carry on and on about his challenges. Unshaken, Gary dragged on his Davidoff, which is a premium cigar, and whooshed the smoke out of the window. He slowly turned to Clooney and glared. "Well then, you just have to decide what's more important to you, your meteoric dreams or your mediocre comfort." Realizing your meteoric dreams take a willingness to be vulnerable. This is not easy, but necessary to move forward. Did you know that being vulnerable is actually how we get the courage to move forward? We willingly place ourselves in unfamiliar territory and leave the commonplace, also known as our comfort zone. No dreams can be built in this comfort zone. We must be willing to take risks and put in the hard work to move to the next level. Being vulnerable in this circumstance is actually from a position of strength. It is the leap of faith necessary to take that almighty and powerful next step. The dictionary defines vulnerable as to become susceptible to harm. Well, I don't know about you, but I hate pain. And when I think of harm, it is hard for me to separate the two. This is why we stay stuck in a less than desirable situation a lot of the time. We are afraid of pain, of losing the weak security of the known relationship. This, however, is faulty thinking. Staying in a weak position of settling and maintaining the status quo will not allow you to successfully make your dreams a reality. This means you can fail when you step out on faith by going after your dreams anyway or letting go of that failed relationship. You are taking control and going for it. Your willingness to step out of your comfort zone will lead to unfamiliar territory, which is not only new, but scary. So what's the flip side? Keep status quo and stay mediocre? Hoping this time things will be different despite the many, many times things did not change? Isn't this the very definition of insanity? Trying the same thing over and over and expecting different results? Vulnerability is the necessary step to get the courage to go after your dreams. It is a conscious decision that only you can make. Now, expect those around you to give you pushback when you try to change. That is because this challenges their status quo. For example, a black female in the 70s wanted to be a doctor. Plenty of naysayers around telling me how I could not succeed at this. I moved forward anyway. I had to decide who I was going to listen to and follow my own convictions. You will know who is going to support you and who is not. Develop your own convictions and stick with them. But what if you held back out of fear of rejection in the first place with your love interest? Let's say you never pursued a relationship with your love interest. You would never know and have experienced the enjoyment of being in the relationship in the first place, even if it didn't work out. The same goes for not at least trying to make your dreams a reality. When rejected in a relationship, this is actually the time to gain back your self-respect and walk away. When fail at an attempt after going for your dreams, this is actually a time to learn and come back stronger and smarter. The true mark of confidence is the fact that you are okay with being rejected and can successfully move on with your life without the relationship. This holds true with your dreams. Things may or may not work out. You may have to repeatedly refocus either because of a myriad of reasons. This is when it is important to listen to the constructive input received and weigh whether this is for you or not, or if you need to try something else. Of course, some of the naysayers may say nay because they have a hidden agenda. Jealousy may be one, but another is the fact that they are afraid that you're going to make them look bad. They are in competition with you, even though you may not realize it. This is not helpful to you at all. Sometimes have to accept the fact that you may not have support from others. This is when you have to look at whether the market that you are in pursuing, if there is a need for it or not. Want to know another great idea? Look for a need in your area of interest by asking people if they have a magic wand and could wave it, what would they visualize for themselves? Then evaluate your talents and see if you possess the talent to realistically meet that need. The most important thing is that you do not let lack of support from others stop you from moving forward. Let the market demand dictate which direction you go and move forward. You do not want to be lying on your deathbed wondering only if I coulda, woulda, or shoulda. Realize that life is intertwined a lot of the time. Things may seem totally disjointed and can in actuality be related. It is important to be able to get in there and think things through. Dissect things out so can really understand what is going on. As a medical student, I had to take anatomy as part of my curriculum. With a cadaver, we dissected out various parts of the body to understand the difference of how a nerve looked and functioned versus how a blood vessel looked and functioned. I had to learn how different muscle groups function and what their purpose was. I was able to take this information and help thousands of patients over my more than 37 years as a physician. The same thing holds true for your quest. Make sure you are paying attention and able to dissect out pertinent information and events so can apply it toward making your dreams come true to help others. Always, always, always have your thinking cap on. We fear failure and rejection over going after what we really want. We keep putting off our dreams for a life that we really do not find fulfilling or satisfying. Show yourself honestly and integrity to pursue what you really want. No competition with others, just a willingness to be true to yourself and not to listen to naysayers who have settled for a life of mediocrity years ago and are not about to stop now. However, they will fervently try to stop you. Do not let this happen. It is so important to stay focused. I have talked about Jeremiah 29, verses 11 through 12 in a previous episode. It talks about how we are part of something much bigger than us, and we have to be willing to allow ourselves to be used to make things great and happen to help others as well. This is where the vulnerability comes in. Finally, there was a tiny owl discovered in the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree this year. It was frail, malnourished, and near death. It was nursed back to health by caregivers. At the time of its release, the caretaker stretched out his arm with the owl perched on her hand. At that time, the owl had to make a decision. Stay in the comfort zone and stay perched on the caretaker's hand, or fly out into the wild not knowing what it would encounter and live life. It flapped its wings and flew away and chose life. Choose life. Till next time.